Hey, what's good, YouTube? It's your boy Will coming back with another update video for today, August 23rd. So as you guys see from the screen, we are going to start off with the whiteboard today because I wanted to emphasize something I've alluded to in a couple of my other videos, and that is being able to control your emotions. Now, when I make that statement about being able to control your emotions, does that mean that I'm implying you can't have emotions? No, not at all. You're human. Everyone has emotions, right? But as you guys can see, this is a market emotions map. So essentially, the first thing you should take note of is that the market is taking into account, it knows you're going to go through these type of emotions. From optimism to euphoria, all the way down to depression, and anywhere in between. You could have any multitude of emotions throughout a day, especially when you're involving your money being invested into a stock you have either conviction in or belief that it will be able to make you additional money if you invest with them, right? Whether it's Microsoft, Facebook, Google, you name it, it doesn't matter because it's all the same. When you're putting your money into an investment, there's going to be some kind of emotional attachment to that because we all want the same goal at the end of the day. We all want to take our money, put it into the market, be able to invest it, and at the end of this, produce a good return for whatever goals or ambitions you may have as a person. The reason why I emphasize to you guys about controlling your emotions, as you can see, the market knows you're going to go through these emotions, right? It's a market emotions map. So it automatically knows people are going to go through this. Why is it important to control your emotions? Well, if you control your emotions, then these specific emotions cannot be used against you. And what I mean by that, just take a look at this chart. See this nice run up followed by a downfall? Well, let's look at something that looks awfully, eerily similar. AMC. You start up here with ambition or optimism, shoot up to euphoria, and then the price gets dragged down, shorted, essentially bringing you almost to the point of depression in some cases, especially if you're new to the market and you've never experienced anything like this. You can easily find yourself in that kind of position. When you control your emotions, the hedge funds or institutions that are betting against you or you're playing against can no longer use that against you. You become more dangerous when you are not trading based on emotions because you're trading based on fundamentals, technical analysis, and information you know to be true, not what you see to be true. There is a difference there. And the sooner you realize that, the more effective and dangerous of a trader you will become in the long run. Again, we all want to get to this euphoria. Everybody wants to get to that. Nobody wants to deal with depression. I don't know one person you could possibly think of or name that says, you know what? Today I would like to be really depressed for the day. That just doesn't happen, right? But at the same time, it can happen because it's money, right? And it's your money, specifically money you worked for or you saved or took you a long time to build up to get to this point of getting to invest. And all of a sudden, you're in a market and you're going through all these whirlwind of emotions and essentially they're being used against you because they know as the price goes down, you're going to get anxiety. You're going to get to the point of denial. You're going to get to the point of even having fear. And what normally happens with fear? You sell. And when you sell, especially if you bought in euphoria and you're selling in fear, you've now took a substantial money loss. And excuse my rough money sign. I try to do that freehand, but you get the point. If you're buying up here or buying up here and selling down here, you're losing money. And that's not the goal. The goal will always be the same. And I'll repeat this until my last video that I ever make. You buy low, sell high. That's how you make money in the stock market. Again, I'll continue touching on these emotions because, again, I think this is a really critical piece that a lot of YouTubers who teach financial education, I don't say they miss it. I just don't think they emphasize it as much as they should because this substantial piece would help anyone who's trading in the market a whole hell of a lot more than any other technical analysis or fundamental analysis or any chart reading. Because until you can control these, will you really be a threat in the market? Because then no one can play against you or use this against you to their advantage. But if you don't, they're going to use every tool they can to make a chart do the things they want it to in some cases, so that these emotions weigh on you and force you to make bad financial decisions for yourself. Just always keep that in the back of your mind. Again, this is a market emotions map. You can look up a million of these on Google and you will find all shapes and types, right? But I think you get the point. Getting into our beloved AMC, as you guys see, we did have a green day today. We were up $2.37 during market hours. After hours, we still gained an additional 20 cents, making our total gain for the day $2.57, or up essentially 7.39%, which is a really good day. No one, I think, would complain with that, especially if you bought in on this dip, or buy the dip as we always talk about. You bought in at 34 and you got all the way to 37. You're essentially making a little over $3.40 per each share you bought. You bought 100 shares, that's $342. Simple mathematics, right? Excuse my speed. I'm really technical with numbers. When I'm on it, as you can tell. But some of you may be wondering, well, what the hell is this white line across the screen? This is another tool that I'm going to teach you guys today and how to use it. It's called VWAP, not WAP like Cardi B's song, VWAP, which stands for volume weighted average price, and moving volume weighted average price, right? Again, the one I specifically use is VWAP. I mean, you can confuse it with WAP if that makes it feel better. I mean, I guess it could help you in the long run get to that, but who knows, right? So it's a trading tool used by all traders to ensure they are getting the best price. However, these tools are used most frequently by short-term traders in an algorithm-based trading program. So essentially how VWAP works. Oh, wrong screen. It's volume weighted price action, so it's only based during trading hours, so anything in the black, right? And that goes for any day that you use it on. Now, I would never recommend using VWAP on anything past a 5-minute or even 10-minute would be a safe use, but even that's kind of pushy. 5-minute for me is my preference at the max, or 1-minute chart, right? Why? Because it's reading essentially the volume, which are these red and green bars at the bottom you see going up and down, up and down. This is volume, or essentially how many people are buying or selling a certain amount of shares. Green clearly is buying, red clearly is selling. But just for those that didn't know, that's exactly what that means. But what it's doing is it's reading the volume of that day and pinpointing a price where you should be at based on the volume. So if you are trading below that, or down here we're at 34.52, and you are below the VWAP, essentially it's telling you this is the best price for you to get in at. So for example, you came in today and you were like, oh, you know what? I found $200 in one of my old pair of pants that was in my closet, so I'm gonna throw it in the market. Perfect. When's a good time to buy? You would go to your chart, you would pull up your VWAP line, you just add it, you can colorize it any way you want. I'm using white because, again, that's just my preference. You could use any color you want. And you say, all right, so let's see, when is a good point to throw my money in? Well, if, as I just mentioned, if you're trading below VWAP, anytime you're below it, that's a better price than what the volume is designating the price to be at. So essentially, you could throw it in here. Now, let's say you didn't figure this out until 11 a.m. when we are trading up here at 37.12. Well, clearly, we're above the VWAP, so this would not be a good point to throw your money in because you're paying more than what the volume's price is designating, if that makes sense. But again, this is just a simple, quick tool you can use to kind of figure out when's the best point to buy in. For example, 32.20 versus 34.60. Again, you don't necessarily have to use it. A lot of traders don't. I have in the past, again, just when I'm looking into a new stock and I don't necessarily know when is the best point to buy. I haven't really figured out where the support or resistance is yet. I haven't utilized some of my other tools that I favor, like MACD and RSI. So I'm not really sure if it's oversold or overbought. But when you use it or utilize it or put them all together, as you can imagine, it's a really good tool to use, because if you're looking at the MACD, oh, we're in a buying period down here. So I know that automatically here we're in a buying. We're about to transition into a buy period, or green, where we're going to converge over the red line. And we're getting very close to oversold on the RSI. Plus, you're underneath the VWAP. Obviously, that's a really good point to buy in. And again, this doesn't just apply to AMC. I just use AMC a lot because it's the focus I have because of its potential, as I've explained to you guys previously. But this literally works for Snap. This will literally work for Tesla. This will literally work for Robinhood. This will work for any stock you may be interested in. So some of you guys may have an interest in Pinterest. Some of you guys may have an interest in Facebook, right? Everybody's different. Again, I'm not teaching or giving financial advice specifically for you to put your money in a specific play. I'm trying to give you financial education so that you can take your money and put it into any play you want without having to rely on someone specifically to just feed you information and you're taking all the risk, right? I would rather you have the knowledge to be able to calculate your own risk and make your own financial decision for yourself. In the long run, you can say, you know what? The fundamentals he taught me really helped me out in the long run. It's made me a better trader long term. That's the goal here. But again, I think you guys get the point. In other news or another place, you guys can also source data. I'm not sure if I've talked about this or not. Watch list. You guys can create your own specific watch list of stocks you would like to trade or stocks you would like to watch. Again, everybody's different. I would definitely recommend that. How would you do that, or how would you go about finding specific companies? Well, there's a couple of outlets, right? And number one, Twitter. A lot of people don't know this, but Twitter is a really good source for stock news. How you would use Twitter. When you go into Twitter and you see this little search bar up here, anytime you put a $sign and then a word stock, for example, you're going to get a list of stock information, anything from stock news to stock companies. A lot of day traders, a lot of swing traders, a lot of momentum traders like to go to Twitter to post information on stocks because, again, they want... The advantage retail has is numbers, right? The more amount of people that are trading a stock, the more amount of volume that goes into a company. Therefore, as we've alluded to before, in the stock market, if there are a lot of shares in the market, the price is going to fall. If there are no shares in the market, the price is going to go up. Supply and demand, right? Simple economics. Well, that's why a lot of traders go to Twitter to post information on stocks so that you guys can see it and they can gain numbers into a company they feel has potential, right? They'll give you everything from financials to short interest to daily volume to how many shares are being traded to how many times people are pinging about it in Twitter to anything you can imagine, right? And again, like anything, there's always good info and bad info. That's for you to judge and for you to use your own logic in determining that. Another good place that I recommend a lot of people who get started into trading is StockTwits. StockTwits is essentially a stock market Twitter. Literally, that's what it is. People just come here and they talk about stocks, and that's it. I found a lot of really good plays from StockTwits. For example, Cardano. This is a crypto play. Has a lot of potential. Has gone up significantly in the last 30 to 60 days. So again, it has a lot of potential. Pfizer. I first invested in Pfizer last November, thinking when I heard the news about the vaccine that it was going to skyrocket to the moon, and boy was I wrong. However, today, now that they got FDA approval, as you can see, 2.91% increase automatically. But again, you can look at the most active. Look at that. Who's number one? AMC. BABA or Chinese stocks. If you guys don't watch financial news, Chinese stocks are going through a lot of volatility right now because the Chinese government is basically saying, if you got a lot of money, you're gonna have to share with the ones that don't. And I'm not joking. That is literally what the Chinese government is saying. So as you can imagine, Chinese stocks like BABA, JD, you name them, pretty much all of them are going through a lot of volatility right now where the price swings are extremely violent. Bitcoin, you can get your Bitcoin news. There's just a lot of different stocks and a lot of different opportunities depending on where you look. But Twitter and StockTwits would definitely be two I would encourage you guys to if you're looking for more plays out there to invest in outside of just AMC or whatever people on YouTube talk about, right? Anyways, I wanted to end you guys on a positive note. I didn't really touch on this last week, but with today's run-up in AMC being a green day, I wanted to make it even better for you guys. So there's this article that we can all reference, or you guys can look up on Market Insider. It says, Jim Simon's Rentec fund triples its AMC stake last quarter and slashes its Tesla holding by 75%. Rentec is probably one of the most, positive producing hedge funds out there, but it's AI based, so it's artificial intelligence. It's not an actual person controlling it. It's a computer running on an algorithm that's been designed by people so that it goes out and finds the biggest and baddest opportunities to invest in, and it operates on the fundamentals of producing huge returns for its clientele base or anyone who's invested in this hedge fund, right? The point of the article, and you can read the article, I'll post the link down in the description below, but is to show you that even AI, who is an algorithm reading charts, patterns, and technicals, recognize the potential AMC has and increased its stake by triple. But yet, it cut one of the most popular companies in its holdings, Tesla. Now, there's another reason for this as well, obviously. Tesla has a lot of lawsuits going on right now with the autopilot issue. So aside from that, obviously the algorithm is recognizing there's a lot of risk involved in Tesla, but let's not take away from the positive of the article. It still tripled its position in AMC, giving us even more bullish sentiment for our investment, right? And again, just to sum it up, don't forget the emotions we started off on the video. Literally, the curve is almost identical. As you can see, now we're leveling out. We really got close to breaking this line of resistance we had identified in $38 range. After that, we're looking for a break over this $49. But remember, we are in our buying period. So as you can imagine, with the RSI at 50 or essentially neutral, heading in the upward direction, it gives us a lot of positive conviction that the stock will keep climbing in the right direction we want it to. But again, I'll leave it at that, guys, for today. Again, I think you guys get the point of the video. I'll come back tomorrow and I'll probably follow it up with a continuation of the options video I put out on the weekend, as I want to continue talking about that to give you guys better strategies and opportunities to invest your money in. But other than that, please like and subscribe to the channel, as it does help with the YouTube algorithm, as engagement is the key in growing a channel, not necessarily producing an amazing video. But if you have a question or comment, leave it down below. I'll be happy to get to you. Otherwise, I'll catch you guys in the next one.